Hello everyone. We are really happy and pleased to have each one of you with us today, and we welcome you to this regulatory update meeting for November 2024. We have a lot of exciting regulatory updates to share with you, so I hope you learn a lot and enjoy it at the same time. So in this meeting, we will cover several regulatory updates in related with medical devices and IVD in this country, in Vietnam, Kyrgyzstan, Tanzania, India, and Thailand. So our first country today is Vietnam, and the update will be related to medical device registration process. So in this slide, we introduced, this slide introduces like a new guideline from Vietnam Ministry of Health, MO. It's the decision 2302 that focus on the legal document evaluation for Class C and Class D medical devices registration dossier. And basically, this one, it replaces the previous decision 3007 that was issued in 2 years ago, in 2022. So in this new updates, in this decision, the dossier appraisal process has been updated. So the registrant, it's very important update. The registrant can now send updates to the Infrastructure and Medical Device Administration, IMDA, during dossier processing. So no need to wait for a communication or the request from the authority, the one that they usually have. And they, as we know all in Vietnam, there are only three opportunity to respond to the authority. Otherwise, if they are not addressed, the application is considered like cancelled, and you have to start over from the beginning. So now you have the opportunity to, for this class C and D, for this kind of, we will see which kind of document. There are conditions, of course, that we can submit certain document during the process. So as I said, this is possible in administrative changes information that differ from Ministry of Finance record, Enterprise Tax Code Portal, or expiration of the following document: letter of authorization, certificate of quality management standards, free sale certificate, and market authorization. So now for these medical devices classes, as I said, C and D, the manufacturer or the applicant can now choose to update the certificate of this document that they know beforehand that they will be expired. So no need to wait for another request from the authority, and that raise the opportunity to get an approval without additional request. So I think this is a very important, that was a very important update in Vietnam. Since we all know in Vietnam it takes a lot of time to get the approval, so this would help. In Kyrgyzstan, the updates is also related to medical device registration process. We will see how. So here again, in this slide, we introduces the regulation, this new regulation number 513. This is started to be effective on September 9 of this year, and replaces the regulation number 311 in Kyrgyzstan. So it is about a medical device registration procedure and include many key updates that will enhance the regulatory efficiency in Kyrgyzstan as well. So here we highlight the essential requirement for medical device registration under this new regulation. First, the testing prerequisite. So mandatory technical, biological, clinical, and laboratory testing before registration application. So now they are mandatory. A second is about the language requirement for labeling and packaging. So the information must be provided in official languages, in both state and official languages. The third point, or the third application requirement, is regarding the electronic database integration. What does it mean? All registration processes are now managed via the IS EBD electronic database. And finally, there is a removal of the apostille requirement. So apostille requirement is now removed, and it is sufficient to submit a notarized translation. Okay. What do we have more for Kyrgyzstan? So the submission process, yeah. Here we explain this streamlined submission and regulatory and registration process in Kyrgyzstan. The application must be submitted, as we said, via the IIS platform, and now here they specified that the paper submission is only the submission in paper is only permitted if the system if system electronic system is working. There is no excuse to submit paper. It will not be accepted. So, and second point is that regarding the submission is that there is a fast track registration where additional documentation are now waived. And this is for devices that are already registered in one of these reference countries: Europe, Australia, UK, Canada, USA, Switzerland, Norway, and Japan. Yeah, the timeline. So the registration timeline have been specified, and as we have talked about this fast track, so we now have to know that for this process where we have the the devices already registered in this references country, the timeline is 30 calendar days, where in the standard registration it would be 50 calendar days, 50. Now, what about inspection? Inspection are mandatory for higher risk class and medical devices locally manufactured, but are waived if there is valid registration in the recognized country. Okay. And finally, the changes in the documentation requirement highlight the new applicant responsibility declaration. So, declaration of responsibility for information accuracy. This document is now a new document that is required. And not always we add, we remove as well to make life easier. So, and the removal of several previously required documents, simplifying the submission process. The removed required documents are, as you can see here, listed. The production permit from the origin country, no more needed. GTN, GTIN barcode, process diagram, production stage details, and manufacturer details. That was all for our second country today. We have 5 countries and we are in our 10th Third one, Tanzania. And the update here is related to marketing authorization. So in this slide, this slide introduces a compendium, a compendium that was released by the TMDA document that encompasses several guidelines. So this compendium that was released on June 2024, it's provided comprehensive guidelines for the marketing authorization of medical devices and the IVD and laboratory yeah. So it consolidates the regulatory requirement into one document. We will see what is included in this compendium. If everything is new, if not, we will see. But just as like one place reference to check. So as I said, this compendium has been implemented or include the let me see something. Okay. This I think I escaped something. Just 1 second. So yeah, we have included here the some two guidelines, old guideline, the basic guideline for medical devices and the IVD, but they added another new guidelines. I think it was 3. I just want to check to give you the whole information. Sorry for I think this is very important to mention, so I don't want to skip it. Yes, it included the third edition of the guideline on submission of documentation and registration of IVD. This is from April 2020. Yeah, and also the third edition related to IVD, also from the same year. So we have here 2 important guidelines, but from 2020, plus the introduction of 4 guidelines: grouping of medical devices, labeling and information for use, and the borderline product, and software as medical devices. So yeah, that's the information that I just wanted to mention. So today, I want to focus in the grouping in 2 guidelines. The grouping of medical device, of course, I will focus on the new guideline, new added guideline, and I think the most important one are this one, grouping of medical devices, labeling, and the information for use, because the other 2 just include the normal or basic information that we can encounter in several countries. There is nothing that we can highlight, but should be consulted as well. Okay. So regarding the first, the grouping of medical devices, it allows certain IVD to be registered as a test kit or cluster, as we mentioned here. This means that reagent and other components can be all grouped together, as you know, under one application. And yeah, so this is the new thing. It's about this grouping of medical devices of IVD. The second one related to labeling and information of use. Yeah. So, and the second guideline that I wanted to highlight, it permits EFUS or IFU, electronic IFU, primary for professional use devices, but with a strict condition for accessibility and security. And for home use devices, the TMDA requires a printed IFU to be provided, but we can always have an EIFU, but it would be just added, not should be added to the physical or to the printed IFU. This is regarding the two guidelines that I think they are important to check in this compendium in Tanzania. Now, I think that is all for Tanzania. Yeah. And in India, the update is related to the advertisement of medical devices. So last month, yeah, on October 10, the Department of Pharmaceutical in India released the Uniform Code for Marketing Practices in Medical Devices, now known as UCM-PND. So this new code is something like groundbreaking because it's the first time. The India first regulation governing the promotion and advertising of medical devices. For India, it's a lot of changes, lots of change in practices. And I think many of our attendees are interested as well in the advertising of medical devices. That's why I wanted to share this update. So this is very important because it will promote ethical practices regarding the promotion of these devices. And before that, the previous regulatory framework on India, including the Drugs and Cosmetics Acts that we all know from the 1940, did not never address medical device advertising or promotion. So it's a game changer in India. So this UCM PND mandate that promotional content, whether in text, audio, or visual form, has to align strictly with approved documentation like the IFU. So company must ensure that all claims are evidence-based, and supported terms such as simply calling a product safe without qualification are prohibited. I I know that all these things are now in practice in several countries, but just to stress on everyone that would be now for India a big change. Comparison between products are also regulated, so they must be factual, and competitor brand name cannot be used without their consent. And this is very good. It will be it will give more transparency to all the manufacturer that what they are communicating is exactly what the product was checked for or developed for. So under this code, company can provide promotional items like books, models to healthcare professionals, but their value is capped to 1,000 INR per item. And sampling is restricted to licensed professional and must be provided strictly for educational or testing purposes with precise tracking to prevent misuse. And demonstration products that are used in educational setting must be returned after use to avoid any perceived inducement. That's quite new. This limitation aims to keep all the promotional practices focused on the professional value rather than personal gain. That's what happened in several countries before and was fixed by this regulation specific for advertising. So it works. The code prohibits company from giving any gift to healthcare professional and restrict travel and hospitality costs to approve training. And additionally, company cannot offer personal benefits such as extended hotel stay for or paid vacation. The code also emphasized ethical boundary, ensuring that all this promotion is kept separately from personal interest. So it's more professional. This code includes several important provisions. So company, as we said, are cannot start the advertising before the product is registered and approved. So they prohibited promotion of devices before they receive the regulatory approval. And so here it was something to fix the previous premature marketing that had many issues. And device association must set up a ethics committee linked to the DOP, UCM, UCPMP, portal to monitor compliance. So lastly, the company are required to make the code publicly available on their website with the feature that allow the public to report any real healthcare complaint. That was all about this new introduction of the advertising and promotion code in India. Our last country today is Thailand, where the update is related to registration of diagnostic test kits and reagents for SARS-CoV-2, known as COVID-19. So this guideline is for reporting and detailing COVID-19 diagnostic tests. As I said, it outlined the new requirement that manufacturer and importer need to follow for compliance. Let's have a look at the old requirement just to understand what has been introduced now. Just have a look at the old requirement first, and then we review what's changed in this new guideline. So under the old requirements, manufacturers and importers were required to submit safety and efficacy data. Okay. This included previous clinical testing records that were conducted in Thailand. And this record were valid for a 1-year period from the 2024 announcement. Additionally, as we can see, technology assessment reports were mandatory to verify the safety and efficacy. And the documentation for these assessments could be provided directly, ensuring the product met the standards set by the regulatory authority. That was the old requirement. And the new requirement, there is significant changes. That simplify the reporting process. So for new product registrations, manufacturer and importer must now prepare and submit the CS, the common submission dossier template, And all reporting must be done through the FDA e-submission system, which allows for a more efficient and standardized process. Okay, so dependence, e-submissions. And one major update is that technology assessment reports are no longer mandatory unless it is specifically requested by the authority, of course. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed and learned a lot. And welcome you for question. Someone just wanna check who is raising. Yeah. Yes, Carlina.
Hi, man. Thank you for the presentation. I have a question regarding Vietnam. Did decision 2302 introduce any changes to the legal documentation requirement for registration Class C and D medical devices?
Let me just go through it. I'll just come back to the presentation. Just to see together. No, I will answer your question. Just want to open the pantry. So yeah. There is no change. There is no change in the legal law in the required document. This is just as I'm just uh, showing you again these slides that we just shared. There is no change in the legal the requirement. There is only change in the. There is only one opportunity to update the document that we have when we already submitted. But there is no
Okay,
change to the legal document. That's the requirement. Okay,
okay, perfect, Iman. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other question? Yes, I think here we have Ana Lucia.
Hello, Iman. Thank you for the
Hello.
presentation. I have a question about the new regulation in India. I wanted to know if it's only applicable to new advertisements or if the promotion material has to be part of the submission dossier for review.
No, no, no. That's why no. There is. Sorry, you said there is. If there is has to be part of the submission dossier. No, and
Okay.
once once we get the product registered, the approval of registration, then we can start the advertising. What was the
Okay.
first part of your question, please?
If
Ah,
the new regulation is applicable to new advertisement, or it has to be, or is I
no,
mean,
no, no. From now, it is applicable to all the ones that are already registered and the one that are coming.
okay, okay, understood. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, there is no more question for today. Yes, Edith. Edith.
Hi, man. Sorry.
No.
Um, Thank you for the presentation. I have only one question regarding Vietnam. If maybe you can send updates for the reviewer dossier at any review stage.
Yes, any review stage. As long as yes, any review stage, the first or second one, you can send this if you are aware that one of these documents that are mentioned, I still have it here. if you are aware of, if one of these your document that you already submitted are about to be expired, so you can just submit it, even if you don't have any request from the authority.
So at any point. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Edith. Thank you for your question. Thank you, everyone, and I welcome you to the next meeting in December, and this one will be special, like summarizing the year. We'll be presenting the most or highlight the most important updates that we have shared with our colleague and with our external guest. So we'll be giving a summary. So I think it will be a very nice and interesting opportunity to learn or have an opportunity to get back or get in touch with everything we shared, or most important information we shared during this year. Hope to see all of you next month. Bye. Bye for now.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Iman.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Iman.